Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Brave Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Jena Rodriguez, and I am your brand business and brave strategist helping entrepreneurs catapult their brand clarity and their profit enhancement strategies to really have the business that they desire. And I cannot wait. I'm not even gonna wait. This is an exciting episode. I am absolutely feeling so blessed and so grateful for our guest. I'm like, I can't even say anymore. I'm like, let's just dive in. So Liz Binney, I'm so excited that you are here. Welcome from New Zealand, right?
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm amazing. I'm absolutely amazing. It is 8:24 a.m. in the morning here right now at the time of recording. I'm up, I've had my coffee, I'm ready to go.
That is awesome. I'm always like, this is so weird. I'm speaking into the future, right? Because I'm not at 8 o'clock.
Totally. And I'm looking out at the future. The future is looking good.
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 That's awesome. Yes, let's create our future, right? So first and foremost, please, for those that are listening and watching that might be new to the Liz Binney, please share with them who you are and what you're all about.
Well, can I do the hey and a mess of KAPOW thing so that people
Of course.
Good. Well, for those of you watching right now, I don't even know how this happened, but this is actually part of branding. So Jena, we all know that branding is so incredibly important. So if I was just to sit here like this and go, hi, everyone, my name is Liz Binney, like that's not me. That's absolutely not me. So what people know me as is this, hey, it's Liz Binney here. And that's literally how I start every single video that I do. It's just like the thing that people know me for. And this is called the KAPOW.
Awesome.
And when I'm on group calls now, they go, let's do the KAPOW. And I even had an amazing person who wants to do a JV webinar with me. Literally make a t-shirt of me doing
I saw that.
Isn't it cool?
I saw that. That was cool.
So amazing. Yeah. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Liz Binney. I am from Christchurch, New Zealand. I've been online, like doing online business now for around 7-ish years. Before that, I went to university. I've got an undergrad degree. I've got a master's degree in positive psychology. I'm a farm girl originally, like from way down the bottom of New Zealand. So for the North Americans listening right now, that's like the way up top, the farm, the Montana type thing. That's kind of, that's kind of me. That's me.
Yeah. You're just a real down farm girl, right? Down to earth.
I can do the ding, 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 ding.
That's so awesome. Yeah. And I think that's, we have a common friend that referred you to me and to the show. And she just speaks so highly of you. And I give Lauren a shout out. I can't thank her enough for introducing us. And your energy is, I think, what people either they are attracted to or repel from, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Helps, yes. And that's actually a good thing. Like the people who can deal with it, the people who are inspired by it, the people who like need it at that point in time, those are the people. And then some people like, damn girl, like I just need to get away from you.
I need a minute.
I need 5 coffees before I can be around you. Please go away.
Yes. I love it. So don't change a bit. So I am one to be attracted towards it. So it's awesome. Yeah.
That's so phenomenal. Like in terms of being brave, it is actually one of the things that I've had to be okay with, is because I've been told that I'm too loud, I'm too this, I'm too that, I'm like all those things. And as an entrepreneur online, a female entrepreneur, an entrepreneur that's in a same-sex relationship, like there's tons of things where I have been targeted. And that's one thing, like my energy and who I am online. Yeah. I've had to learn to be okay with who I am online. It's a big deal.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought this up actually, because it's something I too struggle with. I actually realized and recognized, and I would gather this will resonate with a lot of people watching, is that back last year, I made a decision to go play bigger online, right? Even in my own business. And I've been an entrepreneur for 12 years, different iterations of my business. And I was really comfortable, like belly to belly, in person. And then this online world really opens yourself up to a whole different ball game. And so I'd love for you to kind of dive a little deeper into that conversation about judgment, and what do you do and how do you break that down, and the negative chatter or whatever shows up for you. I just would love to hear your side of that.
Gosh, I absolutely love this. Now, we were talking before we started recording, we were talking a little bit about the journey that an entrepreneur goes on. And a lot of people know an iteration of the Liz Benny story. And this is actually the first show that I've done where I'll start to tell the second phase of the story. I was talking with the amazing Russell Brunson a couple of days ago, and we were talking about the phases that an entrepreneur goes through, right? So it's the circles, the down times that make us greater for the next time. So, I mean, sitting here on the desk is what people mostly know me for, right? They know that Liz Benny got the 2 Comma Club award, and she spoke on stage at the ClickFunnels event, and it was incredible, an absolutely incredible scenario there.
Right.
And I'd gotten through so many things in order to be on stage there, in order to be in a position where I genuinely felt like I was stepping into myself for the first time in my life. Like I will never forget standing up on stage, and then at the end of my speech, like everyone like standing up, and like I'm getting like a standing ovation going, this is like, that just absolutely blew my mind.
Yeah.
The interesting thing though was that, that for me is like, that feels like 12 years ago now, or 15 years ago now. It's a long time ago because of what I've recently been through, and specifically speaking about like the haters. And I don't like to give them a lot of time or energy, or because what we focus on, we get more of. But sometimes the universe sends us a blimmin' good lesson. And my lesson over the last probably 4 months, a huge lesson that I know that, I mean, I've felt the physical shift in my body, which is amazing. Like when you feel a physical shift where you come from such fear, like what are these people going to, because I've built up a reputation.
Right.
I've got a good reputation online. But then what are these people saying about me? What are they actually saying about me behind my back? What are the circles that are developing? The people that I've let close, what are they saying? Because one disgruntled person, who didn't show up, who didn't do the work, who didn't, all that sort of stuff, there can be a spiral from that. And it's been a really interesting scenario because lately, and I can genuinely speak openly and honestly about this right now, because I believe in being raw, I believe in being real, and I believe in being authentic, not in the cliche, you've got to be authentic, because that's not like,
right.
We hear it so much in online, and you've got to be authentic. What does it even mean? So anyway, lately I've had this situation where I finally got to the stage where I just go, I can't, and I should not ever try to keep everyone happy. Right? And I should not ever try to get everyone to love me, right? I just can't. I will always fail. And I will fail in 2 regards, because I won't be doing what I'm truly here to do, right? But I'll also fail because I'm trying to I'm trying to keep everyone happy, and my deep happiness inside, I'm not being who I am if I'm worried about what a couple of people think.
Yeah.
So I can't share too many of the details. I wish I could right now, but it was an interesting scenario because I found that somebody unfriended me a couple of weeks ago. And I'm like, wow, like what's that about? Like, what's that about? Like, and it was a really interesting scenario because it was like the cherry on the top of people saying things about me, or potentially saying things about me that were untrue. And it's a really hard scenario to go through, because you go like, and you can check in with yourself, and you can go, well, like, have I done wrong? Like, did I contractually do everything that I was supposed to do? Have I been a moral person here? And was I true to myself? And it's been a really interesting scenario to go through this lately, and realize that I genuinely, it doesn't matter. Or as Americans, matter. It doesn't matter.
That's really good. Matter. Yeah.
It doesn't matter what everyone thinks. It actually does. It matters what a rare few people think. Like I'm concerned about what I think of myself. I'm concerned about what my wife Christy thinks of me. I'm concerned, and I don't think concerned in the negative. Like I care is probably the better say. I care what I think of myself. I care what Christy thinks of me. I care what a number of other people think of me. And all credit to the amazing Brene Brown for this one, because I think she has a little note that she keeps in her purse or something of the people whose opinions of her matter.
Yeah.
And that's what I really got to, was I was like, it doesn't matter what these people say about me, because as long as I know the truth and I stand in my truth, it's okay. And I stand in the truth, not just my truth, because you can be pretty damn sociopathic and still have a truth, right?
Right. Or delusional, one or the other.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's so good, because I think what I even noticed, and I mean, I really do relate to this. I actually had a little bit of this happen inside of my program, my highest level program, and then the spin of, they got sideways, and then they wanted to get other people bought into that, and it just, and I go to me first. I it's like, did I do something? Did I say something? And, I've done enough transformational work to know that I actually cannot create someone's experience. They get to choose it. Right.
Yeah, amen.
If anyone's listening about that truth. Right. And,
but braving it online. Sorry to interrupt.
No, keep going.
Well, braving it online, it's like you were talking about belly to belly. I mean, belly to belly is easy. It's easy because controlling a relationship, or I take that back. Having real relationships when you're in person,
right.
Like you get to read more visual cues, and you get to see, and you pick up the phone, you're local, you have a coffee. And the online world, I mean, you're in America right now, I'm in New Zealand, and Zoom is allowing us to do this interview, which is great, but we're not together. We're not in the same room. So we are naturally getting less cues. And then online, for me to be an inspiration online, and for me to do my thing online, a lot of it is me out, and then I don't know who's watching my stuff.
That's right. The unknown.
Of it.
Yeah.
And it still to this day flips me out when people say, oh my gosh, I was reviewing all your videos, and I'm like, that still blows my mind. You said it before, like you were like, oh, I've watched your videos, and I'm going, right. I don't think of myself as I'm Liz Benny, and that's it. Like that, I'm Liz Benny. I'm really like, I'm just Liz Benny. And it's really, really funny though, online, like braving it online is a very different scenario.
Agreed.
Because you are exposing yourself to a much wider number of people. And I've had people say horrible, untrue things about me. And it's really, really cool. By the way, those people watching right now who are like, oh, but Liz, I don't want to be targeted. My secret for you is, in every negative, there is a much brighter positive. I'm so grateful for everything that everyone has ever said to me, because it gives me fuel to then be able to be in this situation right now and say to you, it really doesn't freaking matter what they say. Because as long as you're being true to yourself, as long as you're being honest in your marketplace, as long as you're able to genuinely stand behind your product, your service, and all that sort of good stuff, it really doesn't matter what other people say. It really doesn't matter, as long as you've got a core group of people who you have helped, right? And as I say, you are being honest and real. Braving it online, it doesn't matter. Like I've had people say, am I allowed to be a little bit crass in terms of what people have said? Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. On Facebook ads,
nobody will get us in trouble. Yeah. That's good. Say what you got to say, for sure.
People on Facebook ads say horrible things. The keyboard, what do you call them? Like the keyboard warriors, right? So they just like to have a go, and they see someone's Facebook ad, and I'm like, hey, Mr. KAPOW, it's Liz Benny here, and I'm doing it like a Facebook ad, and they're like, I get people say, you need a dick, and I'm like, wait, okay, what? Like
wow.
And then I get people say, you speak too fast. I hate your energy. You're too bright. Why are you so happy? I don't like your accent. I don't like your pink top. I don't like this. And you're a scam artist. You just want me to go to this webinar so you can pitch me something. And like the problem is that if you allow yourself to like get trampled by that, like you've got to have some resilience. You've got to know that that's going to happen.
Right.
And enough in your own power to go, I know it's not true. I'm going to keep going.
Yeah. I mean, and honestly, it's like the true statements are really, it's just what they are. And it's unfortunate that people feel the need and the permission to be, that negative towards people. I just think it's kind of like, and if you believe it, then we got a problem over here. But it is, it's like, it's the celebrity part of entrepreneurship, especially online, is kind of what I see. And, I don't know if we all signed up for that in the beginning, but I think we need to have a bigger conversation about that.
I really do too. And I completely agree with you. I think that, Alison Prince is one of my friends. She, like her and I have talked endlessly about this. And the things that people say to her, and she's a beautiful, genuinely, she's a lovely, she's Mormon, she's got I think 3 or 4 kids, she's really and truly made it, and she's got a heart of gold, and she genuinely wants to make a big impact in the world. Yet what people then come and do when someone is making it is they like to cut them down because they feel inferior, so they look to bring someone else down. Right. People send her on Facebook, and it's the same as me, like my Facebook, the person managing my Facebook page for me, they have to deal with pictures of like full frontals, people like
crazy. That's crazy.
It's weird. Like, you've got that much time in your hand to send me a picture of your nether regions? Okay.
You're like, really? Yeah. And I number one, I think it's unfair and unfortunate that you have to experience that. But I think there's a reality to when you really are up to something and you're standing for something much bigger than yourself, that you have to take on it's kind of like you're not successful until you have a naysayer,
And
it's
also,
like, you're talking loud enough.
Yeah. I completely agree. And it's really hard because we often think, but I'm just a nice person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this program here, like if they just follow the program, here's the stuff here. Like, why were they off? Like, and you start to make excuses and reasons and question yourself. Right. And like, let's be really honest. You and I have both questioned ourselves. Right.
Oh yeah, totally.
Was it me? And you start to really get concerned about that, which is good because you should question yourself. You should go, am I in the wrong? And if you are in the wrong, then make it right.
Yeah, correct. Be responsible.
Yeah, exactly. I firmly believe in taking ownership for what you need to take ownership for personally, to make sure that like you're doing your work, you're showing up.
Yeah.
But the world that we live in, there is always going to be, evil. There's always going to be like whatever your connotation or your version of that. Some people think in universal, black and white light and dark and light, all of that sort of stuff. Right. It really doesn't matter. But in internet marketing and online, there are forces that will try to stop you from getting what you want. So the ones that make it, the ones that truly make it, are the ones that are able to focus and get through. And it's like water off a duck's back. Right. As much as possible.
And would you say surround yourself with supportive people, right? Those people that closer circle.
Yeah, definitely. I think that, if I look at it in a couple of iterations, like the first break, and it's not a break because it's hell, right? Because I went through hell to make it to where it was. Like the first, yeah, definitely. I didn't deal with so many haters until like a year after I'd like become, the ClickFunnels girl, the person that's on the front page of ClickFunnels, like, right. Somewhat of a poster girl in some regards. Like it was like a year after that people started to like, the jealousy kind of jumps in a little bit, like, oh, how dare you make it, and all that sort of stuff. And it's okay. It really is. So the first year I was like, the first time I was like really focused the whole way through. Right. I was a little bit more green. I'm like, it doesn't matter. I had one person that gave me a really bad review, called me a scam artist, called me and said these amazing things about me. And I've read the whole review online. I bawled my eyes out. I was like, that's so untrue. It probably has cost me $50,000 to $100,000 in sales. But then it's probably made me more than that in terms of the lessons that I've gained.
Right.
So, absolutely okay with that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the second time round, like when we talk about like iterations and step ups, when you become like the brighter you become, the more people there are hating. But the thing that we often forget, if we get down into our own, often what we forget is that there are more lovers as well. There are more people that love us. There are more people that impact us. It might feel like there are more haters, and statistically logically speaking there are, but statistically speaking there are also more people that love us.
I know. It's like the bigger piece of the pie is actually the positive, and yet the amplified negative section, right? And we just have to keep it in perspective, I think, in order to make our way. And I also, I've also had this conversation around, you know, when you hit what is perceived as your own upper limit and your kind of your own glass ceiling, you know, you are the only one that can actually eliminate and create that it's not there, and do what's next in order to continue to move, right? So I love doing this, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And what I'll say is that, like, since the beginning of the year, the universe has chucked me some really wobbly, horrible lessons, which I'm grateful for. I'm so grateful. Even I've learned to be grateful for the hard times, because I know that there's beauty in those. There's not just content for blogs and all that sort of good stuff, but there are genuine lessons that can and will help other people. And I mean, I'm just really, really, really excited, to be honest. Like, I'm sitting here right now going, I'm so grateful for all of that. I'm so grateful for all of that. I'm so grateful that I've even forgotten what your question.
I don't even know. I don't think it matters. No, I don't know if even I had a question inside of that, but it's just your share about how, you know, resilience and, you know, it's like the choices we make, every single decision we make about how we perceive something, I think is really powerful about what you're sharing, because you can choose two ways. You can go down a rabbit hole that you'll never get out of, or you can just see it for what it is and then see the beauty in it. Right. And I think you've done that wonderfully. Yeah. Did you remember?
Yeah, I did remember. I did remember, because here's the thing, is that I firmly believe that we are sent lessons sometimes, and if we ignore, like, we get the lesson again, and we get the lesson again, and we get the lesson again. Right. So I knew in this last period of time that I actually needed to sit in the darkness. I needed to be okay with the fact that it felt so uncomfortable. And I knew logically that on the other side of that was going to be amazingness. Like, there really, really was. Now, and I had to be okay in the darkness. Garrett J. White, for those of you that know Garrett J. White, I just have such admiration for him. Like, he actually speaks about this concept of going to the darkness. If you can't be okay with dealing with your own darkness, like, you can't truly transform. And that's one of the things that I'm 100% okay with. Like, if it feels horrible, ask, why is this horrible? How does this feel? Like, what am I making this mean? Whose support do I need? Like, there's no, like, putting a Band-Aid on it. Yeah. Just means that you are going to have to deal with it 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now. Like, why not? My concept here is, like, why not transform and be okay with it? So whilst it was horrible, I knew logically, I knew what I was thinking. I knew the patterns of what I was thinking. I was being too sensitive in a certain regard, but I knew there was a deeper lesson. And I truly, like, it was like a light bulb flick. And I'm like, it's actually not in my body anymore. I can't feel it anymore. Nice. And I know the transition. I know the transition is when I went, it doesn't matter what they say. Yeah. It doesn't matter what they say. Like, the people that didn't make it, the people that didn't do the work, the people that turned, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And it's okay. It is okay. Yeah, it really is. From that moment, I went, I don't feel it. Genuinely, I don't feel it in my body anymore, because for me, it's not just that I'm, hey, no, Mr. KAPOW. It's not just that I'm all energetic and all that sort of stuff. Like, the curse for me is that I'm a very, very, very sensitive person. So I've had to learn resilience. Yeah. And not always easy, but it's a good lesson. It's a huge it's a necessary lesson, I think, especially in entrepreneur world. I always say entrepreneurship's not the easy way, it's the brave way,
right? I lived in corporate America. I'm like, oh, sure, I can go collect a paycheck and not connect to my value. I mean, and allow other people to decide what I'm worth, right? And so, yeah, this is the brave way. And I also say it's the biggest personal development course you'll ever take, right?
I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah, and it's like, I was going to say, piggyback off that. Have you ever read or heard of Course in Miracles?
I've heard
part of it. Yeah, there's a lesson, or there's 365 lessons in this workbook part of it. But there's one place where it says, actually early on, nothing has meaning. Nothing we give it meaning. We give everything meaning, everything story, everything, that exists, from, the people around us, to the objects around us, to the comments that we hear. And it's just something I actually have studied some of it in my 20s, and I'm coming back to it. If you saw my bookshelf, it's all nonfiction, personal development, business development. And it's just one of those books you come back to and kind of go, wow, yeah, I'm making a lot of this crap mean something. And it really doesn't have meaning. It's just it's just a fact. It's just whatever happened. But it's like, how, if you're going to make meaning about it, let's make it a lesson. Let's make it, there's a bigger light than there is darkness, like choose a meaning that's actually going to empower you versus disempower you. And I think that's what you've done brilliantly. So love that. Yeah.
As have you, my dear, as have you.
Thank you. Yeah. So in our last few minutes, one of the things I'd love you to touch on is just, number one, you have done an amazing job of moving from struggle to now, the 2-figure, as a business owner, and, kind of the holy grail, apparently. And so what do you think is the actual secret sauce to that? Meaning, whether it's breaking through your water level or your own ceiling or your own upper limit, what really shifted for you in that journey?
That is such a beautiful question. And I genuinely just want to I needed to sit with that one for a second.
Sure.
I think what people see outwardly is they go, oh my gosh, like Liz Benny, she made $1 million and da 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 da. And that's, I mean, it's not even on my wall. Like it should be. I just haven't hung it up yet. Like, because I've,
it's okay.
yeah.
Right.
And it's really interesting what people make that mean. A, about me, and B, about themselves, right? Exactly. And it's really, really, really interesting. So for me, part of the reason why it's not on my wall, there's a couple of reasons. Number one is that there's no stud in that wall. It's just there. So
it'll fall down. Yeah.
There. So I don't want to actually break the wall. That's one of the reasons. Another one of the reasons is I've seen a lot of people have money like go to their head, and I didn't want in any way, shape, or I believe that money makes you more of who you are. So you've got to make sure you're a really good person, and that you can sleep at night.
Yeah.
And so for me, there's there is an external journey, but more importantly, the internal journey. Love it. There's two arrows here. One is not better or worse, or it's what we make it mean. But external journey is like, Liz Benny went from rags to riches. She used to wear a hat in bed because and those are very true stories. And now I have double glazed windows now. Like, that external journey has been amazing, and I'm grateful for it every single day.
Yeah.
What I'm more grateful for is who I became internally.
Yeah.
Because that's where the true power is. I have the great fortune of working with Russell Brunson on a project at the moment. And it's kind of a secret, cool project. And I genuinely had to face this very same question. It's like, what if everything got taken away? And about 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago now, literally the computer that I'm speaking on right now went.
Wow.
Horrible situation. I had a backup. For those of you like, Liz, but didn't you have a backup, and can't you just buy a new one? Yeah, I could just buy a new one. Yes. I was told in no uncertain terms that my backup would not work because it was encrypted. So literally in that moment, and I'll tell the story better some other day, but in that moment, I literally lost it all. Like my whole business gone, 7 years gone.
Wow.
And it was amazing. And most people would go, but Liz, like you lost all of that. I'm like, yeah, but that was it's easy. Building, and this is the internal growth. Now, like right now, my understanding and the breakthrough moment, like to get back to that, is when you have the knowledge that you can make a business out of nothing.
Yep.
That's liberating. That's absolutely liberating. So it was that. It's the internal shift. And when you know that nobody has power over you except for you have power, you have the power, you have everything within you.
Yeah. You know, and I love that because I do believe that it's the willingness to lose it all that allows you to actually break through to the next level. It's the attachment to the higher level and the suffering that you might experience or you create in your mind. If you don't have it, or if you get there and you lose it, like all that, I think that's the whole, like, what do we make it mean? And so thank you for sharing that. I believe in that. And I always say, and I agree with you 100%, that money just amplifies who you are. So be a good person. Stop hating on people. Because goodness, you go try this out. Let's go get our Brave on and let's see how far you get, right? I know. This has been amazing. I wish we could spend half a day together. Maybe we will one day, right? I would love that.
Yeah.
And I just really honor you for your gifts and for your realness. I do appreciate that. Vulnerability and transparency is one of my top values. So, and just keep doing what you're doing, because I know your next level is right around the corner, if it isn't already in your lap, right? So it's just amazing of what you're doing and what you're bringing to the world, and you're an inspiration to me, at least, and I'm certain other people. So in closing, I'd love for you to share where people can connect with you and how to, kind of get into the KAPOW world. And then I'll have one final question. So
okay,
how
cool.
do they connect?
So I guess just lizbenny.com. I'm super, I'm not into being super salesy or anything along those lines. If you want to hang out, lizbenny.com, and then from there you can Facebook and everything is there. But lizbenny.com is probably the place.
Perfect. Yes. And I know you had an amazing gift. We'll put that in the show notes. It's something that you're, offering the audience. So we'll make sure they have that. And I agree. I think lizbenny.com and, all things Liz. So that will go in the show notes as well. And so one final question is, if this was your last interview and this was the end and you had one big message to share to the world, what would it be?
I love that question. Immediately I felt it in here. I'm like, okay. So the thing that I want to say to everyone right now, I immediately, every single day I think about my deathbed. I think about lying there and going, so I'm very driven by when I'm going to die. And most people aren't. They're like, that's a bit morbid. No. But for me, it's when I'm on my deathbed and thinking that, I'm going to be coherent, I'm going to be looking back on my life, I want to have done what it is that I'm here to do. So what I say to you, every single person watching us right now, you may not feel brave, you may not feel like you're worthy, you may not feel like you can do it, but I want you to absolutely believe in your heart that you can make it, because there was a little girl called Liz Benny who wanted to be an entrepreneur, and she became an adult. And when she was an adult, she forgot what she knew intuitively. She forgot that she could do it all. She forgot that she deserved it. She forgot that she had all these hopes and dreams of helping the world. And then there was a 15-year period where she was like, I can't do that. That's for other people. And I have people say to me, yeah, but you're Liz Benny. I'm like, yeah, no, but I chose to step into this. So what I say to you is this: you can do it. You've just got to get off your bottom through that fear and take action consistently towards where your hopes and your dreams and where you intuitively know that you're actually supposed to be. If you want to go out there and help people in Nicaragua, go do that. If you want to build an online program, go do that. If you want to be a brand specialist, go do that. If you want, like, it really and truly doesn't matter, but you just have to get up and do it. Okay. Because nobody is going to do it for you. The world is full of victims, and victims don't make it. It's only those that brave I've literally written it up here. Those who brave the journey. Those who brave the journey of the darkness, those who brave the journey of the unknown, those who brave the journey of feeling useless and small, and those who brave the journey of failure. And those are all beautiful lessons that propel you to where you are. I wouldn't be here right now if I hadn't failed every single day, multiple times.
Yeah, I love it. That was well done. And on that note, I adore you. I love your message. I love who you are, and your heart is gold. So don't change a thing, KAPOW.
Oh, you did it. I love it.
So awesome. Thank you so much for being here. I can't say it enough. And I just want everyone listening to really take this episode to heart, and all the words that you've shared. And I always close out with, give us some feedback, give us some love, and let us know what your biggest takeaway was, and give us, some feedback about the show and how it's changed your life. And until next episode, let's go get our brave on. So I love Liz, and I love you watching. So God bless.
Love you all. Thank you, Jena. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. Talk to you soon, everyone.